Proverbs chapter 27, verse 18. Verse 18 says, "Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit, so he who waits on his master will be honored." So if you have a fig tree, then guess what? You get to eat figs. That's your reward for having a fig tree. In the same way, you wait on your master, whoever your master is. It's definitely the Lord, but if you have a human boss as well, the better you do for him, the more rewards you get. So be good employees wherever you are, whoever your boss is, even if they're not nice. Be a good employee to them. Serve them as you would serve the Lord, and you will be rewarded for it. Verse 19 says, as in the water face reflects face, so a man's heart reveals the man. So if you look in a still water and you can see your reflection, in the same way, the heart of a man reveals the man, and it comes out the mouth. So it's like, are you a good person? Are you a bad person? I tell you this, the worst side of you is who you really are. You pretend to be better, but no one ever pretends to be worse. So whatever the worst side of you, that side you're like, oh, I can't say that, that's horrible, that's mean. That's still inside you. That's your heart. And so you need to pray that God would give you a better heart, that those thoughts wouldn't even come into you. And God can do it. A lot of times when people do that, they pray for that, they don't even notice God changing their heart, because it's hard to realize you're not thinking bad things. But it happens, and you're blessed by it. And what happens is other people will tell you later, it's like, hey, you're a lot nicer than you used to be. And you realize, wow, God really has been working on me. And up until then, you're like, man, God hasn't done a thing. But it's hard for us to know this when God is working, but it's easier for other people to know this, and hopefully they tell us. So if you've noticed a change in one of your friends, that's good, that you're like, oh man, God did such a great work in that person. Tell them. They probably didn't even notice, they could use the encouragement. So that's a good thing. Verse 20 says, hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. So yeah, it's like how much room is there in hell? There's a lot of room in there, right? And so like, and this isn't talking about like hell, the lake of fire that we're eventually going to go to, because all the words that were translated for where people go when they die in the Old Testament are translated as hell. Even if they're just kind of like in that waiting room waiting for Jesus to die on the cross, right? So it's like in the same way that people keep dying, it's never full down there. It's never like, oh, no one else can die because we're at max capacity, right? That never happens. And so in the same way, the eyes of man are never satisfied. If someone is looking at a sin or something that they want, desires, there's always desires. Like, well, guys could always use the bigger truck. They could always use the bigger house. They could always want this and that. It's like, okay, I got this. I should be completely satisfied. Ooh, what's that? I want that. And then they go after that, and they get that, and they work hard for it, and they get it. And like, okay, I got this. I'm completely satisfied now. No, I want something else. And after a while, if they're rich and successful, they kind of get everything they see, and they still don't know why they're not happy, why they're not satisfied. It never ends. And that's where depression comes in, that's where suicide comes in. Also can come in if they decide they want something, but they just don't think they can ever get it. That depression comes in there too. What they really need is God. You can only be completely satisfied if you have the Lord. If you don't have the Lord, then you're never going to be satisfied. So seek after the Lord. He's the most important one. Verse 21 says, the refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, and a man is valued by what others say of him. So in the same way you use a refining pot to purify gold, you purify silver. For guys, for men, for women too, it's just for people, it's references. It's kind of like, if I interview somebody for a job, and I've sat on quite a few interviews, on both sides, being interviewed and then interviewing other people, and it's just like, people are going to say great things about themselves, right? That's what the interview is for you to try to sell yourself to this company, saying, hey, I will work well for you. You will be lucky to have me on your team. That's what interviews are for, and so it's like, of course they're going to say that thing. And then what they do, they give you their application, and it's got references, and you call the references. What's this person really like? And I've called references that people have put on there, and they're like, it's like, well, if the person they say, this person says I'm a good person, doesn't really say that they're a good person, I don't want to hire them. And so so other people will talk about you. You don't have to do it yourself. God bless you and have a nice day. We'll see you next time.